Hey guys, so today I want to start trying to document some of the old glitches that I know for this game. So today's glitch I'm just going to focus on is something we call the vent glitch. And this is something that we used to do back on the original server. It's gone through a lot of iterations there. The first versions of this involved like throwing grenades at each other's feet until you would flip up and kind of land on top of a vent. I guess that's something I should mention here. What the vent glitch allows, it works anywhere that you can crawl into or under something. So the vents are the obvious case, you crawl into these vents. It also works with something like the trucks where you crawl under them. And it just allows you to get inside of whatever that object is that you're crawling into or under. So, as I was saying, kind of our original thing, we were using grenades, kind of flip ourselves up. You would time it just right with this animation as you kind of switch to first person view. You'd want to have, while you're kind of in that automated crawl period, that brief second, you get the grenade to explode right at that moment. You'll clip up over whatever you're crawling into, and you can do that. That said, today's version is a lot easier to do than that, and a little bit more. It's easier. But put simply, this is just an easier glitch. So the first version I'll show you guys is using camera orientation. It's an easier glitch to understand using camera orientation, but you can do this using player orientation. I'll show you that after this. So starting off with camera orientation, way I tend to go for this glitch is I'll run up and lean against whatever wall, whatever thing I want to get into. This is just so I kind of have like a consistent distance away, back off, and I face the wall. Lay down, and then I'll just tap my controller a couple times. Just takes kind of a feel for it, but what you want is so when you stand up by pressing X, what you'll get, and I guess I went a little bit too far in, but you'll get this kind of slow standing animation. That's compared to if you're further out, you'll very quickly stand up. You want to be doing that slow stand animation. So what you're going to do is during that animation, you're just going to turn your character around so they start standing up backwards, and it will result in them standing up onto whatever you were underneath of. So with camera orientation, all you're going to do is turn the camera around. So when you go into first person view by tapping R1, you're going to be now facing out of the vent. So the way to do the glitch is you're going to start trying to stand up by pressing X. While doing that, you tap R1 to turn your character around, and with the right timing, you should just stand up inside of whatever vent or whatever you're trying to get inside of. And just like that, I'm on top of the vent. And I chose this one because it's kind of one of the more complex vent features in Metal Gear Online. Kind of a fun area to do this glitch. You can kind of poke your head up in a few places. Just kind of a cool little place, but yeah, the core of the bug is just turning around while you're doing the or turning around while you're standing up. And I'll show that again using the player orientation method. It's very similar. The difference is you have to manually turn yourself around. This time I'll just use the truck. I'll change myself over to player orientation. And I think I've done this as low as like setting 5, which is your default setting, the rotation speed. I'm not sure if it actually matters, like if you can do this on 1 or not, or if you need to be on a higher speed. So somebody else might need to play around with that a bit. Although I think most people play generally on some of the higher speeds. I believe it works at 5, so as long as you're not going lower than default, should be fine. Something to be aware of, but again, very similar setup. You're going to lean against whatever object you want into, turn around, lay down, nudge forward. Now the difference here is as I stand up and I'm going to go into first person view again, of course being player orientation, it's going to leave me exactly the direction I'm facing. So I'm also going to hold my left analog stick. I always go off to the left and just spin around while I'm standing up. And hopefully, yeah, I end up standing up right inside of whatever I'm trying to get into. So yeah, that's the two ways to do it. It's a really fun utility glitch. You can get a lot of places with this. There's a number of vents, a number of things you can just climb into. Um, yeah, like CUS has, I guess not fun vents, but it has some vents that you can do this with. All the trucks are in play. I enjoy these vents here in Ghost Factory so you can kind of come up through the floor and stuff. Yeah, just something to play around with, and it's a nice little utility to have just when you're bored.